All right, welcome back to the Jason Gray Show. Like and subscribe if you like this video. Wow, Silicon Valley Bank made history on Thursday. I want you to listen to these stats here. So they had $42 billion in withdrawals for that day of Thursday. That's $4.2 billion per hour. And if you compare that to the Washington Mutual takeout in 2007, they had $16 billion taken out over 10 days. So again, $42 billion in one day. No bank can survive that, right? So now we rolled into Friday. They were taken over by the feds. They closed the office down, and they said we're going to, restructure through the weekend. And what happened through the weekend is the feds took over. The European assets were taken over by HSBC. I don't know where the U.S. assets were taken over by, but those assets are taken over by someone, right? Now the feds are totally in control. And on Sunday night, Janet Yellen came out and said, okay, we're going to go ahead and backstop $35 billion in a special pool of money. So ultimately, everyone, this is a bailout, right? Don't get this wrong. Don't let them spin it here. This is a classic bailout for sure. So if they keep on saying it's not a bailout, it's 100% bailout. Now, are they not bailing out the investors or the stockholders or the people that invested in that bank? Correct. Those people lost all their money. They're going to lose it all, and that money is going to be gone. But the people that have money in the account, they are being made whole 100%. That is a bailout at the end of the day, because they have to control and contain this. And the reason why you got to look at the big scheme of things, you might have $250,000 or $100,000 or $10 at a Silicon Valley Bank. You get your money back. But look, all these big companies like Roku and Zoom and all these hedge fund companies that have billions or millions of dollars in there. And if that money is taken away, they can't make payroll. So are you bankrupting a couple companies as well? And so they're looking at it as we need to control this and contain this so it doesn't leak over to all the other banks. Well, it's Monday and it's leaking over to all the other banks. So as of today, or as of time of this recording, I pulled this about 45 minutes ago or so, there was 202 halts on the stock exchange on bank stocks. Yes, 202 just for today. Now, that's a huge number, because if you look back at the last 14 months, there was only 13 additional halts before that. So 202 today on bank stocks and financial stocks. So those bank stocks and financial stocks are struggling. Like, most of the bank stocks are down, 5% to 60%, right? And if you take a look at First Republic, they're down 60%. Are they the next bank to go? Probably. And so that might be one that might be being taken over by the feds. So the question is, how many banks do they take over, and what happens over the next couple of days? Now, everything happens so fast anymore compared to years ago, right? These things would sort of trickle down. But they took over 3 banks last week. And how many banks will they take over this week? And this is not a common thing, everyone. This is an incredibly rare occurrence. And if people are starting to withdraw their funds, the banks have no other choice, and the feds can't help them. They have to go and ask them for help. So it is a big struggle right now. So Signature Bank was taken over over the weekend as well. There was another bank, I forgot the name, but they were taken over. They were like a crypto bank. That was like a crypto exchange bank that was taken over. The funny thing is Bitcoin is dramatically up today. It was up over 24,000 for a Bitcoin today, which is a big increase. So let's talk about the Fed's next move. Now, if it continues to get worse, they're going to need more than $25 billion for sure to backstop this. So they're going to have to now pony up some more money. And how the Feds look at it is, these people's assets that were, let's say, worth $100 before are only worth $40 now. The Federal Reserve is given $100 for this $40 item, with the knowledge that they'll eventually sell off that asset and get back to their $100. Now, in doing so, that takes time. That takes 1 year, 2 year, 15 years, 20 years, but the feds have all the time in the world where the banks don't have the time to liquidate that asset. They need that money like now. So they're getting that money now, and the feds will eventually make money. The feds did really well through the financial crisis, if you think about it, on the money that they made. So let's talk about what the Federal Reserve is going to do to mortgage rates, because mortgage rates had a lot to do with why these banks were failing, because these banks weren't hedging against mortgage rates going up, or these assets of these rates going up so much. And so they didn't hedge properly, and so their asset is not worthless, but worth less. And so now the next Fed's meeting is March 22nd, and I was anticipating them doing a 0.5% rate increase. This was prior to, of course, to this whole thing with the banking, debacle we're dealing with right now. So going into it, I think we're only going to see a 0.25% rate increase by the Feds. There's a lot of people that are saying there's going to be a 0% increase. That the Feds have got to stop right now and pivot or hold or do something and maybe go the opposite direction. And I think they need to save face a little bit by them saying, okay, we got to still do something. We just won't be as aggressive. So I'm going to stick with a 0.25% rate increase. But this has been great for mortgage rates. Mortgage rates have rallied dramatically over the last 3 days. I'll do a separate video on some charts so you can see what that video looks like. But mortgage rates have increased or has decreased dramatically through the increased yields. So it's been great. Just keep in mind, if you do have money in the banking institutions, you as an individual have up to $250,000 guaranteed per bank. And so don't think it's if you spread it out between 4 different banks that you have up to $1 million in coverage. So keep that in mind. If you have that type of money, spread that money around. It could be an interesting couple days. I'll continue to update you as I keep on hearing and getting more information in, and then I'll do a video on it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.